Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very carefully. Every single day is a new chance to try again. Don't let anyone tell you different. You woke up this morning, that is your opportunity, your golden ticket. The clock hasn't run out yet. Yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's failures, yesterday's disappointments, they don't mean a damn thing. They're in the past. And today is your chance to take another step, to swing harder, to push yourself beyond the limits of what you think you're capable of. Too many people treat failure as the end. They see one misstep, one bad decision, one wrong turn, and they think it's over. Let me tell you something, failure isn't the end. Failure is part of the process. The process isn't easy. It's not pretty. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. And it will test you in ways you can't even imagine. But it's also the only path to success. The people who make it are the ones who don't quit when they stumble. The ones who get knocked down and then get up, dust themselves off, and go again. You don't learn to win by playing it safe. You learn by getting up after every fall. But listen, you've got to understand something critical about the game you're playing here. It's not just about the outcome. It's about the effort, the persistence, the grit you show up with every single day. Success is a series of days strung together, each one bringing you closer to what you want. Some days you'll win big. Some days you'll fall flat on your face. But the beauty of life is that no day is ever wasted unless you choose to make it so. The biggest mistake I see people make, they wait for the perfect moment. They wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right conditions, and guess what happens? They waste their time. That's right. Because the perfect time doesn't exist. It's a myth. If you're waiting for everything to fall into place before you act, you're not moving forward, you're stalling. You've got to start now. If you have a dream, a goal, a vision, then get to work today, not tomorrow, not next month, not when you feel ready. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you'll be waiting forever. Success is for the people who jump in with both feet, even when the path ahead isn't clear. Every single day is a chance to try again. And that's the power of persistence. You might not see immediate results. In fact, you'll probably feel like you're not getting anywhere fast enough. But let me remind you of something. Success is not about the big leap. It's about the little wins you stack up day after day. You get 1% better every day, and eventually those little efforts add up to something massive. That's how you get to the top, by being relentless. By showing up when you don't feel like it. By doing the work even when you don't see instant rewards. But here's the thing, don't just show up for the sake of showing up. Make today count. Make it count by deciding that you're going to put in the work no matter what. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it. It doesn't matter if you're tired. The successful aren't the ones who feel motivated every single day, they're the ones who do it anyway. They know that momentum is built by action, by pushing through the tough days and making each day a step forward toward their goal. I don't sit around waiting for some magical breakthrough. It's not going to happen that way. Success is built on the back of small, consistent actions. And that's the key. Don't make it harder than it is. Every day you get a chance to move forward, to improve, to push yourself harder, and to take another step. You can't make up for lost time, but you can damn sure make today count. So let me leave you with this. Don't let the failures of yesterday define today. Today is your shot. You've got another 24 hours to do something great. Another 24 hours to try again, to get better, to make progress, no matter how small. Use it. And when tomorrow comes, do the same thing. Keep stacking those wins. Because if you do that, you will look back one day and realize you didn't just make it, you crushed it. The power of a fresh start is something that cannot be overstated. Every single day, you have the opportunity to begin again. Every new morning is a blank page waiting for you to write your next chapter. You see, we often get caught up in the weight of our past mistakes, our failures, our missed opportunities. We carry the burden of yesterday's decisions as if they somehow define who we are today. But here's the truth, your past does not have to be your future. The moment you wake up, you have a fresh start, a new opportunity to reset, to refocus, to redefine what's possible for your life. Most people get stuck in the past. They look back at their mistakes, at their shortcomings, at the times they've fallen short, and they think, it's too late for me, but let me tell you, it's never too late. The power to change, to rise above, to reinvent yourself is always within reach. Every day gives you a chance to make different choices, to take different actions, to move in a new direction. The past is only useful if you're learning from it, not if you're living in it. You can't change what's behind you, but you have complete control over what happens next. And that's where your real power lies. A fresh start is not just about doing things differently, it's about thinking differently. It's about shifting your mindset and embracing the possibility that today, this moment, can be the catalyst for your transformation. Too often, people think they need to wait for the perfect moment, or that they need to have all the answers before they take the first step. But the reality is, a fresh start is less about knowing the exact path and more about taking the first step with faith. You don't need to have everything figured out, just start. The power lies in the act of starting and choosing to move forward, even when the road isn't clear. You don't wait for the world to give you permission, you decide that today is the day you begin. A fresh start is also a reminder that no matter how much you've struggled, no matter how much you've been through, the potential for greatness is always within you. You are never defined by your lowest moments. And the beauty of a fresh start is that it allows you to release the weight of regret, fear, and self-doubt. You don't have to be who you were yesterday. You don't have to be limited by your circumstances, your mistakes, or the expectations others have placed on you. You can choose to show up differently. You can choose to think bigger, act bolder, and live with purpose. Every day you get to choose how you want to show up in the world. That's the power of a fresh start. The power of a fresh start is not about forgetting where you've come from. It's about using everything you've been through, every battle, every lesson, every setback as fuel for the journey ahead. It's about taking the knowledge you've gained and applying it in a way that moves you forward. Life is never about the hand you're dealt, it's about how you play your cards. And when you decide that today is a fresh start, you are playing your cards with the conviction that you have the power to shape the rest of your life. This doesn't mean it's easy. A fresh start requires courage. It requires the willingness to leave behind what no longer serves you, to let go of the old beliefs, habits, and mindsets that have kept you stuck. But here's the thing about courage, it's not the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. When you choose to start fresh, you are choosing to face whatever fear or doubt you have head on. You are choosing to act in faith, knowing that the first step, even though it's scary, is always the hardest. Once you take that step, the next one becomes easier, and the next one after that even easier. A fresh start also reminds you that the past is never a sentence, it's a springboard. No matter how difficult your past may have been, it does not have to determine your future. Think about the greatest success stories. The people who have truly overcome the odds. Do they focus on their past failures? No. They use the pain, the struggle, the heartache as their fuel to move forward. They turn their setbacks into comebacks. They recognize that every failure is just a lesson that gets them closer to success. The power of a fresh start is about choosing to believe that today is the day you become the person you were always meant to be. Today is the day you stop making excuses. Today is the day you take responsibility for your actions and your future. Success, fulfillment, and greatness aren't reserved for the lucky few. They are available to anyone who dares to try again, who dares to start fresh, and who refuses to be limited by the failures of the past. So I challenge you to wake up every single day with the mindset that today is a new beginning. Whatever happened yesterday, leave it behind. Whatever mistakes you made, learn from them and move on. The only thing that matters is what you do with today. Take advantage of the fresh start that every new day offers you. Go out there and make it count. The power is in your hands. The moment you decide to start again, you set in motion a force that can lead you to places you never thought possible. So don't wait. Start fresh today and keep going until you create the life you were meant to live. Embrace the process, not just the outcome. Too many people get fixated on the outcome, on the finish line. They look at the end result and think, that's it. That's the goal. That's where the magic happens, but the truth is, the magic is in the process. It's in the grind, the daily effort, the sacrifices, and the challenges that you face along the way. If all you focus on is the end result, you miss the most important part of the journey, the transformation that happens in the process itself. The world tells you that success is a destination, that you'll arrive at some point where everything clicks and the rewards are handed to you, but that's a lie. Success isn't a place you get to, it's a way of living, a mindset, a commitment to the daily grind. It's the small, often unseen choices you make every day. It's the decisions you take when no one is watching, when you're not looking for recognition. It's the times you show up when you'd rather stay home, the times you keep pushing forward when you're exhausted, the times you take another step when everything inside you tells you to quit. We're so focused on what we want that we forget to fall in love with what it takes to get there. And this is the key. The process is where you develop. It's where you get better, where you build character, where you learn. The outcome doesn't just happen, it's earned. And you earn it through the process. Every time you get up after failing, every time you make an uncomfortable decision to push yourself harder, you're becoming the person who can handle that success. But that person isn't created overnight. That person is forged in the fire of the process, through the grind that most people avoid. This is where most people go wrong. They want results now. They want the reward without the work. They want the success without the sacrifice. But let me tell you something, nothing worth having comes easily. The process is not glamorous, it's not sexy, it's not the highlight reel you see on social media. The process is the small, sometimes boring, often difficult work that no one talks about. It's about putting in the hours, staying disciplined, and showing up even when you're not seeing immediate results. It's the long road, the steady climb, the hustle when others are taking shortcuts. But this is where the real growth happens. In the process, you're not just achieving something, you're becoming someone. You're developing resilience, patience, and discipline. You're learning how to deal with setbacks, how to handle disappointment, how to dig deep when the world tells you to give up. It's in the process that you face your fears, overcome your doubts, and push through the discomfort. The outcome, that's just the byproduct of everything you've done to get there. And the best part about embracing the process is that it makes the outcome so much sweeter. When you finally achieve what you've been working for, it's not just a moment of triumph, it's the culmination of everything you've learned, everything you've sacrificed, and everything you've become. You'll look back and realize that the destination wasn't the reward at all. The reward was the person you had to become to reach it. The real victory lies not in what you achieve, but in who you become in the process of achieving it. So stop focusing so much on the end result. Stop obsessing over the destination. Instead, put your energy into the process. Fall in love with the grind. Take pride in the small victories, the little wins that most people overlook. And understand this, every time you face a challenge, every time you take another step, you're one step closer to the person you need to be to live the life you dream about. The process is where your growth happens, where your true character is built, where your foundation is laid. If you focus only on the outcome, you'll always feel like something is missing. You'll be chasing a moving target, always dissatisfied, always thinking that the next achievement will finally bring you fulfillment. But when you embrace the process, you find fulfillment in every single day, in every piece of work, in every moment that you put in the effort. The outcome becomes secondary. It's a natural result of your commitment to the process. Remember, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't necessarily talent or resources, it's the willingness to embrace the process, to keep going, even when it's hard, to love the journey more than the destination. Those who succeed know that the journey is the reward. And they wouldn't trade it for anything because they understand that the process is the one thing that will always lead to the kind of lasting success that means something. So whatever your goal is, whether it's to build a business, get in shape, write a book, or achieve something personal, don't just focus on the prize. Embrace the grind. Fall in love with the work, because the process is where your power lies. It's where you find out who you really are, what you're made of, and how far you're willing to go to create the life you want. Keep your eyes on the journey, because that's where the real transformation happens. The danger of waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is a myth. It's a lie we tell ourselves to delay action, to procrastinate, and to stay comfortable. People wait for the stars to align, for the right moment when everything falls into place, when all conditions are perfect, and when they feel ready. But let me tell you this, there is no perfect time. That time you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. And while you're sitting there waiting for everything to be just right, the world keeps moving. Opportunities pass by. Moments slip away. Time, the one thing you can never get back, is wasted. The danger of waiting for the perfect time is that you convince yourself that there's a future moment when everything will align and you'll finally be able to act. But the truth is, the perfect time never comes, because the perfect time isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Success, growth, progress, it doesn't come when the conditions are ideal. It comes when you decide that now is the time to move, to act, to take that first step, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. You don't need everything to be perfect. You need commitment, you need courage, you need the willingness to start. What happens when you keep waiting for the perfect time? You end up staying stuck, paralyzed by doubt, overwhelmed by what ifs, and constantly questioning your ability to move forward. You tell yourself that you'll wait until you're more prepared, more experienced, or until the circumstances are more favorable. But this mindset is dangerous because it creates a vicious cycle of delay. You keep pushing your dreams off until tomorrow, until next week, until next year, but the years pass and you've done nothing. You've made no progress, and eventually that dream fades away, not because it wasn't possible, but because you waited too long. Here's the truth: life doesn't wait for you to get ready. Life is happening right now, and if you're not in motion, you're falling behind. While you're thinking about what could go wrong, someone else is acting. While you're waiting for the perfect conditions, someone else is creating their own conditions. It's not the person with the best resources who wins, it's the person who takes action when they have nothing but a vision and the determination to follow through. You're not waiting for the perfect time, you're waiting for the courage to start. Every day you wait is a day you lose. And I don't just mean that in a theoretical way, I mean it in a real, tangible way. Time is the most valuable currency you have. Every hour you spend waiting is an hour you'll never get back. So ask yourself, how much longer do you want to wait before you start pursuing your dreams? How many more years are you going to sit on the sidelines watching others make moves while you convince yourself that now's not the right time? The clock is ticking, and every moment you spend in inaction is a moment you'll never be able to retrieve. The best time to act is always now. And yes, it's going to be messy. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're going to face obstacles, setbacks, and challenges along the way. But that's the point. The process is never smooth. It's never neat. It's never without its bumps. But the person who succeeds is the one who takes imperfect action, the one who steps forward before they feel ready, the one who embraces the discomfort of the journey rather than waiting for it to be comfortable. I get it. It's easy to say, I'll start when, or I'll begin when I feel more confident or when the time is right. But here's what you need to realize: the time will never be right if you don't make it right. You don't get to wait for the stars to align. You don't get to wait for all the conditions to be perfect before you act. You don't wait for the perfect moment to take that first step. You make that first step the perfect moment. I think about the people who have achieved great things, people who have changed the world. Do you think they waited for the perfect time? Do you think they waited for everything to be just right before they took action? No, they moved, they acted, they took risks, they made mistakes along the way. But they kept going. And that's why they're where they are today. They understood that the perfect time will always remain out of reach if you don't create it through bold, courageous action. It's time to stop waiting. The longer you wait, the more your dreams slip further away. Don't wait for the perfect time, because it doesn't exist. The only perfect time is the moment you decide to act. When you commit to moving forward, to embracing the uncertainty and the messiness, that's when everything changes. The time to act is now, not tomorrow, not next year, not when you feel ready now. Because the perfect time is not a waiting game, it's a decision. And that decision is yours to make. The importance of consistency and persistence. High consistency and persistence are the unsung heroes of success. Too many people chase after quick results, hoping for some miracle breakthrough that will change everything overnight. They look for the shortcuts, the fast track, the easy way to achieve their goals. But here's the harsh reality: there are no shortcuts. Success is not built on a single moment of inspiration, it's built on the thousands of moments, the countless decisions, the daily actions that nobody sees, the small, consistent steps that you take day in and day out, no matter how hard it gets. It's the persistence to keep going when the road gets tough. It's the consistency to show up when the excitement fades and the initial burst of motivation wears off. Anyone can be motivated for a day, a week, or even a month. But the real challenge is doing the work when no one is watching, when the results are slow to come, and when doubt starts to creep in. That's where true greatness is forged. It's in the quiet, disciplined work that you do when the world isn't cheering you on, when the rewards haven't arrived yet. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent or intelligence, it's the ability to stay consistent, to persist when things get difficult, to keep going when every part of you wants to quit. I think about it, every overnight success you admire, behind that moment of success, there were countless hours, weeks, and years of hard work that led up to it. The public only sees the results, they never see the grind, the failures, the perseverance that went into it. But that's the reality. It's not the burst of energy, the fleeting inspiration, or the great idea that leads to success. It's consistent action, day after day, year after year. And this is the beauty of persistence. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times you fall short or make mistakes. What matters is the refusal to quit. Failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. It's not about being perfect or getting it right every single time. It's about getting up, dusting yourself off, and taking another step forward over and over again. Every successful person has faced setbacks, has stumbled, has failed sometimes, many times, but the one thing they never did was quit. They were persistent. They kept moving, kept learning, kept trying. And each time they failed, they grew stronger, more knowledgeable, and more equipped to succeed the next time. This is where most people falter. They get discouraged when things don't happen right away. They expect success to come in a straight line up and to the right. But that's not how it works. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, setbacks, and obstacles. It's a roller coaster of highs and lows. And those who stay the course, those who persist, are the ones who eventually find their way to the top. You can't get to where you want to go without consistency, without showing up every day, doing the work, and refusing to be swayed by temporary setbacks. There's a power in consistency that can't be overstated. It's about building momentum, creating habits, and making progress even when the progress feels slow. Imagine trying to build a house. The first few bricks don't show much progress, but as you keep stacking them, the foundation gets stronger. And then one day you step back and realize that you've built something solid. That's what consistency does. It builds something lasting, something meaningful, something that's not dependent on mood or motivation, but on a deep commitment to showing up and doing the work. But persistence doesn't just mean sticking with something for the sake of it. It means constantly learning, improving, adapting, and refining your approach. Being persistent doesn't mean doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It means learning from your mistakes, tweaking your strategy, adjusting your tactics, and then pushing forward. You keep going, but you get better. And every time you face resistance, you break through it stronger than before. Here's the thing about success. It doesn't care how many times you fail, it only cares about how many times you keep going. Every setback is an opportunity to build resilience, to toughen your spirit, to prove to yourself that you can handle adversity. Every time you persevere, you show the world, and more importantly, you show yourself that you are not someone who can be defeated. You are someone who finds a way no matter what. And that attitude, that's what guarantees success. Consistency and persistence create a level of discipline that doesn't rely on motivation. Motivation will come and go. It's like a spark, it's fleeting. But discipline is what keeps the fire burning. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up every day no matter what, and doing the work no matter how small or mundane it may seem. The consistent effort you put in today, the persistence you show in the face of difficulty is what will pay off tomorrow. It may not seem like much in the moment, but over time it compounds. That's how success works. So don't get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. Don't get discouraged when the road is long and the journey feels endless. Keep showing up. Keep putting in the effort. Keep being persistent and keep moving forward. Because the power of consistency is unstoppable. It's the foundation of greatness. It's the key to turning your dreams into reality. And it's the one thing that guarantees you will reach the place you've always dreamed of if you just keep going. Keep pushing, keep working, because success is built on persistence, and persistence is what will take you farther than you ever thought possible. So let me leave you with this: the road to success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about the small, consistent actions that you take every day, regardless of how you feel. It's about showing up when you're tired, when it's hard, and when it seems like nothing is changing. Success doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in the accumulation of those small, consistent steps taken over time. And it's the persistence to keep going, to keep learning, to keep improving that will eventually separate you from those who gave up along the way. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have it all figured out. What you need is the courage to keep moving, the discipline to stay consistent, and the resilience to keep persisting even when the journey gets tough. If you commit to this, there's no goal you can't reach. There's no dream too big, no mountain too high. Consistency and persistence are the tools that will turn your vision into reality. So start today. Keep going tomorrow. And never, ever quit. Because in the end, those who persist are the ones who win.